Hi everyone, before I start today's video, now there is a possibility that you can talk with me directly. You just have to simply go on www.nikshala.com, book an appointment, and I will get in touch with you directly. Now, sending an email and back and forth can be done, of course, but again, my team members handle all of that. If you want to talk with me directly, please book an appointment on nikshala.com. Let's start today's video.
Alright guys, welcome back once again. So I'm sitting here with Aman. He is a data engineer working in Germany for last 3 months. And I'm very eager to know your story. I'm sure a lot of people who have tuned in also want to know how was your journey. He has got job directly from India. 3 months back means not so long ago. What I'm interested to know is what kind of challenges were thrown on your way, which you overcame, and now you're sitting in Munich. By the way, he's got his office is in Bielefeld, which is kind of center of Germany. I'm at present in Munich. He's visiting one of his client sites, so we just thought to catch up. This is just a background story. But Aman, before I talk so much, why don't you give us your introduction? Walk us through where do you come from, what kind of education you have acquired in the past, what's your total experience and in what field and all of that. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I am basically from West Bengal and I did my engineering from Orissa. After that I started, I have around 7 years of experience working with 3 different companies.
Okay.
So it was more or less in different technologies altogether.
What technologies were you working on? Where did you start your career? Was it always data? Because data just got famous now.
Yes, so I started my career with Linux. I was a Linux administrator in my first job, and then I moved to Linux consultant. There I worked for almost 3 years. Then I moved to a very booming field. You have heard of big data.
Yeah.
So after that, almost around 1.5 years to 2 years, I worked in big data solutions.
Okay. If there is an HR right now sitting in front of us, and the question which is put for you is, hey Aman, what are your core skills? What are they?
I would say my core skill would be definitely Linux, because that's where I started from.
Okay.
And on top of that, yes, I have now chosen my field to be as a big data engineer and as a data engineer. So I would say Hadoop would be my second skill, and Python would be the way I develop I use that language to develop my applications or what I want to do with.
That's a deadly combination.
Yes.
Okay. And how much of these skills are you using right now in your current job here in Germany?
I would say mostly around 60% of my complete profile is based on all those technologies. Rest 40% would be cloud.
Okay. How many jobs did you apply?
It was
you can't even count?
Yeah, I applied to around 250-300 companies.
And what was your conversion rate to interview?
Yes, I got 3 interview calls, and out of that I got
cracked one
of
also.
them.
That's a good ratio. I mean, this was like a big funnel, and then 3. So it's like 250, then 3 interviews, and then 1 selected.
1 selected, yes.
Wow. You said you got 3 interview calls, you cracked one of them. Walk us through what was your total rounds of interview you had to give for this job which you have right now, and what questions were asked during those rounds. Please go ahead.
Yes. In this company I'm working for, they had 3 rounds of interview.
Okay.
The first round was the HR round.
Okay.
And HR always looks for how good your research is regarding this company and regarding the job profile you have, and how you are fitting this particular company with its values and with this team you have applied for.
So that was all first round, typical HR round, but make sure that, as he said, all those questions which may sound so basic, but trust me, that's where the foundation of the interview is built. How you answer it builds up the image. Okay. And if they don't like you, you're not going forward. What happened in second round?
So in second round, it was with the technical lead and managerial round as well. I would say from the technical lead, there were a few very in-depth questions that were being asked.
Like
I was from a big data world, so if we talk about different terminologies being used in big data world, like what is CAP theorem and how effective this is in this like how would you implement the cap theorem, or what do you think about the cap theorem. So not only they will ask a straight away question, they will also give you scenario based question. So suppose I have a issue with, I have this big data problem, so what are the components you are going to use to solve this particular problem, and they expect a very detailed answer on that.
Okay, just twist to this whole thing now. You're an employer and there is an employee now sitting, let's say watching us. If you're a technical lead, what questions will you ask? And the job is exactly about the role what you have. What questions will you ask to challenge this candidate?
I would definitely start with how you're going to build a data pipeline.
Okay.
What are the things you need? What is you are going to do with it? What are the different components you are going to use for it? What are the different achievements and why you actually have chosen that? So that's a question which everyone expects, and it's a very basic question, but it's equally difficult as well, because there are hell lot of components to choose from.
Right.
And second question is the scenario based question, as I was saying. So suppose they have been, I was being given a scenario where they were building an airplane based application where it would show them how many flights were delayed and what is the what time it was delayed and where it got delayed. So they asked me to build an infrastructure to build this application. So I was being asked this question on any cloud platform. So if I have been given any cloud platform, how I'm going to build this complete infrastructure for this particular application. So with this question, definitely I will have many questions, follow-up questions.
Right.
So where the data is coming from, where their data is going to save. So make sure you ask these all questions. They will answer each and every one of them,
right?
And but they expect a very detailed answer on this as well. Like if you are asking a follow-up question, why you have asked it. So make sure you don't ask too many follow-up questions and not any bogus follow-up question as well.
Right.
So make sure your questions are very direct, and you should have a reason behind it why you have asked that question.
Right.
Yes, and I was being asked about the ML operation, machine learning operation. So suppose they have a model ready and they are going to train that model every time. So I was being asked, how will you build an ML flow operations CI/CD pipeline so that they can train the model continuously.
The third question, which was asked to you in the interview room, what did you answer for that?
Okay, so my first question was, am I free to choose the component I like? And I got a yes for that.
Okay.
So because my question was very specific to ML Flow,
okay.
So which is one of the ML operations app being developed by Databricks. So I have chosen the components of my own preferences, which was Jenkins, and which was Jenkins to actually continuously deploy, Git repository to develop my code, Kubernetes or OpenShift in order to deploy that as a Docker container, and Artifactory in order to push the final ML flow image as an image to the repository, that is Artifactory. I framed my answer in such a way that how am I going to start and how am I going to build this complete pipeline. So my first thing would be to set up a Git repository and connect it with Jenkins. So in Jenkins you can actually connect it to a Git repository, and you can connect it to an OpenShift as well, or a Kubernetes as well. So for that we need to write a Jenkins file which will have the complete deployment script, how a code will be picked up from Git. It will be deployed to the OpenShift, and the final image would be written to Artifactory. So that would be written in one Jenkins file. So I told them more about it, and there were a few follow-up questions on how would you write this Jenkins file and what are the different parameters mean. So I explained everything to them. So there were again few follow-up questions regarding how would you pass the parameters from the user directly to the OpenShift or directly to the Docker containers. So I answered them as well.
Right. Wow. So now at this stage, You heard the questions which were put for him for the job what he has now, and the way he answered that. Good. Let's move forward with this talk. So there were a total of 3 rounds, you said. This was the second round where you were technically grilled just to test your knowledge. What happened other than that? Other than technical round?
Other than technical round, it was a managerial round as well, where you are being constantly noticed how confident you are when you are answering that.
Okay.
They usually look for how passionate you are about this technology, how motivated you are about this technology, and are you willing to come, or are you willing to work on this or not. They usually look for your confidence level as well. Equally, not only you can't be you can't answer the question inconfidently, they are going to reject you.
So at what stage did you guys talk about salary?
Yes, it was the last stage, final stage.
With the boss?
With the boss.
Okay.
With the boss, I was being asked about my expectation. So I give them a range, and they were pretty much on the higher side of that.
Oh, they were higher.
They were on the higher side of that.
But you quoted less.
Yes, because I didn't had much idea on because they already told me the location of my work.
Okay.
So I was not having much idea on how much would be the expenses.
Correct.
So my quote was a little bit more than what is required for blue card. So my quote was more or less around that, and they already gave me on the higher side.
Do you want to share your knowledge, because you're currently working with cloud also? What job are you doing on that side?
So here I'm currently working on Google Cloud as a data engineer. So mostly what we do is we build the pipelines, we build the infrastructure for data analytics. We build the machine learning operations. We build the complete pipeline so that a model is being trained,
right,
and it is being deployed somewhere. We collect the data from different sources, and we store them in Google Cloud. So this particular this complete horizon of smart analytics, what Google say in its own terms, I actually work as a data engineer on that particular field.
Right. When you were searching, right, you said I applied for 250 jobs.
Yes.
What was the key results you were putting in, keywords? What were you exactly looking at when you would go on LinkedIn or any job search platform, right? What were you putting? Was it big data? What was that?
Yes, definitely. As I was from Hadoop background, so my first keyword was Hadoop.
Okay.
There were like several jobs available in Hadoop. As I said, Germany being the powerhouse of Europe, and it is one of the biggest market for Hadoop in this particular region. So there were lots of jobs, I would say, available for Hadoop. Apart from that, I also looked for keywords like Linux, Kafka, and then streams. Apart from that, cloud as well. Like at the later part of my search, I started with clouds as well.
Right. Before we end this video, what's your point which you want to get across through this platform to people who are from your industry?
Yes, don't lose hope. There are ample amount of opportunities available, and they are hiring. Yes, if you are optimistic, you are going to get through it. Nothing is going to stop you.
Right.
So definitely keep applying, keep updating your resume with your latest information, and start learning. They look for the projects in your GitHub, how many personal projects you have done, what are the certifications you have done. They really give an importance on that. So whatever you have done, make sure you are adding it to your resume and keep applying. Definitely you're going to get through.
Definitely going to get through. Thank you so much for coming on my channel.
Yeah.
I hope this information and his experience resonated with you. Again, we may not have touched on all the points which are running through a head right now while watching, like, shit, he should have asked him this and this and this. Maybe next time, or maybe put it in the comment section. We'll try to address these things. But for now, that's all what we have for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.